Hey students, we are on lesson 4.2, which is the area of triangles today. Now, one of the things I want to point out to you is there are different types of triangles out there. You know, we have a triangle that looks like this, and it's called an isosceles. That's all the sides are equal. And we have other triangles that look like this, and they have a right angle, so we call them a right triangle. And there's even other triangles that you can look at. Let me see if I can draw one of those other ones. And this one's called a scalene triangle. No, let me try that one more time. That was ugly. Let's try it one more time. There we go. There's that type of a triangle, which is called a scalene triangle. The triangles that we're going to be talking about in this lesson are the top two. We are not going to be talking about that type of a triangle today. So I would like you to look at these types of triangles. So again, to find the area of a triangle, we've already introduced this to you in previous lessons in Bellwork and other things, is we're using the formula base times height divided by 2 gives you the area. Okay, so that's what we're going to be focusing on today, is that little formula right there. Hopefully you watched the video that was in yesterday's assignment on Schoology, because it introduced that to you. Let's start out with our Bellwork today. All right, so I am going to go through this Bellwork. Some of this is brand new. Well, I'm guessing that all of this is brand new. So we're going to take a look at it very closely. So first of all, I'm going to zoom in to this little graph here, and it wants us to graph and label these corners on these polygons. So number 1 says I want to go 2, -3. Now, we always go over before we go up and down. So if you wanted to climb a ladder, you have to walk over to the ladder, then you can go up or down it. So on here, I'm going to go over 1, 2, and then I'm going to go -3, and then I'm going to draw a dot. And I know this graph paper's not got all of its little lines in there, so we're going to just do the best we can. Then we're going to go to the next one, which is 2, -5. So I'm going to go over 2, down -5, which is right here. Then our next dot, or next plot point, is 9, -3. So I'm going to go over 9, down -3. So we're going to be about right there. And then the next one is over 9, down -5, which is, over 9, down -5. So it's going to be in line with this one. Now, all we have to do is combine our points. I'm going to do the best I can. And that's a pretty good line right there. That one is too. So I'm doing pretty good today. So we have, what shape is that? Because it says graph and label. Well, we graphed it. What is the polygon? Well, we've got a rectangle. Okay. Now let's do number 2, and I'm going to do it in a different color. It says to go -1, so we are going to go start at 0 and go -1, -6. So it's right there. Draw a dot. Then we're going to go -9, -6. So -9, -6. It's about right there. We're going to go, there you go, there's a little dot. Then we're going to go -7, -3, which is about right there. And then -3, -3, which is going to be about right here. Now, let's combine all of those little points together. And what shape do we have there? We have a trapezoid. Or if you're from England, it's a trapezium. All right, so not too difficult on those ones, as long as you know that you're going over before you go up and down on plotting those points. We'll see some more of that later on in the near future. So now we're looking at this cube. So when we unfold this cube right here, it looks like this. And it wants us to find the surface area. Now, surface area means that we have to look at every single side of the shape and find the area, the two-dimensional area, and then add them together. Okay, so we are looking at a cube, and a cube is made up of 6 squares. So we have a square. So this square right here, let's point at it with my pointer. This square right here is a 3 times 3, which is 9. Well, the next one, let's go up here, 3 times 3. Oh, that's 9 again. You know what? All of these are going to be 9s. The area is 9. And we forgot to put our units of measurement, 9 inches squared. All of them are 9 inches squared. Okay? Now you could go through and you could add all of these 9s together, or you could go, well, let's show you. We could go 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. Or we could go, well, how many 9s are there? Well, there's 9 times 6, which equals 54 inches squared. That is my surface area. And if you just listen to surface area, the area of the surface of a 3-dimensional figure. So that's what we're doing, is we're finding the area. We're finding all of these little 9s on all the sides, and we're adding them all together. Okay, there was your bell work. Let's move on to your notes. All right, here is your notes page. Please turn to this in your journal, and let's go over this. So you can see here that we are again, we're emphasizing that formula of base times height divided by 2. That's the important concept that you have to know, is this formula. Again, we wrote it out in words here, base times height divided by 2. Now, let's talk about what that means and what we know about triangles. The blank must always be perpendicular to the blank. Well, the base must always be perpendicular to the height. And that was shown in the video with that little 90-degree angle that it had when they drew the triangle. Right here, this little 90-degree angle is what we're looking at, is that square. And that means that it is perpendicular. If something is 90 degrees, it is perpendicular. So right under here, under perpendicular, I want you to write 90 degrees. Because I know that word, perpendicular, is kind of a weird word. Okay, 2 lines are perpendicular if they form a 90-degree angle. And that's what we just talked about. Blank, it looks like a letter H for height. Okay, so this right here, what I think this is kind of vague what it's showing here, and it's what I tried to show you up here in that triangle I drew. It's showing this straight up and down, straight across. If we have straight up and down, a vertical line and a horizontal line, it will always make a 90-degree angle in the corner like that. It'll also do it here. But if we wanted, the symbol for showing something perpendicular is that. Well, mine looks like a 1. It's straight up and down, straight line across. That shows perpendicular. Sometimes the base of a triangle must be extended in order to find the height. And that's true, and we'll see some examples of that later on. Okay, so we are going to practice using the formula to find the area of these triangles. All right, so what we have to do is, you guys know my steps. I've already talked about this in my classes, that you must show the formula that you are going to use. So I know I'm using a triangle here. So I know that I am going to be using area equals base times height divided by 2. Then you can start plugging things in. I know that my base is 36. I know that my height is 16. And I'm dividing it by 2. So you can pull out your calculator. And you can go 36 times 16, enter, divided by 2, and we get 288. So our area equals 288 centimeters squared. So it's as simple as that. Use the formula. So show the formula, plug in the numbers, do the math, or multiply and divide, and then you come up with your answer. All right, let's try another one. Let's try this one right here. Again, I'm always going to follow these same steps. I'm dealing with a triangle, so I'm going to write down the formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2. Plug in my numbers. So 28 times 11 divided by 2. Pull out my calculator. 28 times 11, enter, divided by 2, and I get 154. So the area of this one is 154 centimeters squared. Not that bad, huh? Okay, let's try this last one. I'm going to, again, write the formula. Area equals base times height divided by 2. And then plug in the numbers. My base is 14. My height is 7 divided by 2. So calculator again. 14 times 7, enter, divided by 2. And I get 49 centimeters squared. All right, not too bad. Let's move on to your practice. All right, so here we are. We're going to look at the practice, and we're going to go over how to do this a few times. So let's take a look at number 1. Number 1, we have a triangle. So just like on the notes, we are going to practice using this formula. So we are going to be finding the area of a triangle, and the triangle is base times height divided by 2. Then we're going to plug in our numbers. Our base is 10. Our height is 5. We're going to divide it by 2, and that gives us 50. So 10 times 5 is 50, divided by 2 is 25 inches squared. Not too bad. Let's move on to the second. So we're going to look at this one. This is the same thing. We're going to be using the formula for area of triangles. So we're going to go area equals base times height divided by 2. We're going to go 18 times 18 divided by 2. Let's see what we get. 18 times 18 divided by 2. We get 162 feet squared. There we go. So yeah, we're just doing this same formula over and over again for practice, because it's important for you to practice this over and over again so it becomes kind of an automatic thing. Now, when you're looking at number 3, that triangle is kind of turned weird. But does it change anything? Can I turn my paper and look at it like that if I want to? Absolutely. There's no problem in doing that. So we're still using that same formula. So we're going to be going area equals base times height divided by 2. Plug in my numbers. My base is 11. My height is 14. I'm going to divide it by 2. So I'm going to go in my calculator and go 11 times 14, and I get 154, and then I have to divide it by 2. And I get 77 meters squared. One of the big issues, one of the things I see students forget to do on these is they forget to divide by 2. They multiply and then they forget to divide. So this is a good thing to go through over and over again, because, you want to kind of make it an automatic thing. When you see a triangle, you think, oh, base times height divided by 2. So we're going to, again, do number 4. Area equals base times height divided by 2. Plug in my numbers. Again, this one, you're going to want to go and look at it that way. But it doesn't change anything. You can always turn your paper to look at it, or you can just envision what it would be. We are going to be dealing with a base of 26, a height of 9, then we divide it by 2. Calculator comes out. 26 times 9 is 234. Divide by 2, 117 centimeters squared. So not too bad. We'll continue on here. This is one of those ones where you had to extend the triangle, if you can see right here, and I've changed my pointer to be a lightsaber. It's kind of cool. So they extended it out here, and the reason that they had to extend it out is, remember I talked about that other type of triangle, the scalene triangle? Well, it's kind of hard to find the height right here. I mean, if you had graph paper, it would work, but sometimes you have to extend it out and make it into that 90 degree, that perpendicular relationship, so you can figure out the base and the height. A base and height always have a 90 degree relationship in the angle. So that's something that you're always looking for. If you don't see a 90 degree, sometimes you have to extend it to turn it into that 90 degree. So let's do this problem. We are still using area equals base times height divided by 2. We're going to go, our base is 7. Our height is 2. Well, I can do that one in my head. 7 times 2 is 14. Divided by 2 is 7. 7 yards squared. Now, I want to talk about this really quick. You see this 7 yards squared and this 7 yards? Are they equal? No. This is just 7 yards from here to here. That's one length. It's just a measurement of length. 7 yards squared means that inside of here, it takes up 7 square yards. Little tiny squares. It would be 7 square yards in there. So they are different. That's what that little squared means. That's why it's important, is because it is completely different than this. So that is important to have. Let's look at number 6. Again, area equals base times height divided by 2, where you have a base of, and again, you can shift this to take a look at it that way. We have a base of 13. We have a height of 6. We're going to divide it by 2. Use the calculator. 13 times 6 divided by 2. And we get 39. So we have 39 millimeters squared. All right. We have a story problem we ought to look at. A triangular bookend has a base of 4 inches and a height of 8 inches. Find the area of the, okay. So we're just drawing this. Okay, it's a triangle. There it is. It has a base of 4 and a height of 8. Again, we're using our formula. So area equals base times height divided by 2. So we're going to go base 4 times 8 divided by 2. 4 times 8 is 32 divided by 2. That is 16. So we have 16 inches squared. All right. Hopefully going through those problems has kind of helped solidify that formula for you, and hopefully you've written down all the things I have here. So if you need to look at your practice as you're doing your assignment, you'll have access to that. Let's look at your assignment now. All right, here is your assignment. I'm looking at those first problems up there, and you can see that some of these don't have numbers by them. So if it bugs you, you can do 3, 5, and 6 if you'd like to. Looking at number 7, let's read it. The shaded triangle in the sign has a base of 7. So it's saying that this is 7. And that inside here, from the tip to here, is 8. The white triangle has a base of 5 and a height of 6. And so I'm going to give you a hint. You have to find the area of the shaded and the area of the white. And then you have to subtract. So you'll take shaded, subtract white. Okay. Number 8, I'd like you to do that one. It says describe and correct the error. So there is a mistake in this question, or in their solution here somewhere. And I think it's pretty apparent what they forgot to do. It's what I told you students forget to do all of the time. And then this bonus question, if you feel like, hey, this has been really an easy assignment, yeah, give that bonus question a try, see how you do. All right, guys, until next time, good luck on this assignment. And if you have questions, as always, ask your teacher.